If you are looking into buying cheap and safe FIFA coins, look no further than footcoinshop.net. They have the fastest service, an incredible loyalty reward system, and the best prices around. Use my creator code Inception when you sign up for your account and get a 5% discount with your order. Okay guys, so we just finished the review for Ashley Cole, played 9 games with him, pretty decent left back. Be sure to check out the review, it should be the video just before this one. But today we have a new evolution, guys, which does some pretty significant improvements to some of the younger players, right? So for people that are looking into upgrading those types of players, you know, you want to upgrade like the youngins, there's going to be a few guys to work with. So this evolution is going to be called Fast Forward. So it kind of makes sense that it's called Fast Forward because of the massive improvements you're giving these guys, right? So this is actually an evolution that people are complaining about because it's paid, but the thing is that at some point, if they ever get like any sort of playstyle improvements on them, it'll be pretty cool, right? Because a lot of these types of players here, guys, you are never going to see in actual promos, right? So when there's cards that you specifically want to improve because you know that they're never going to get cards in your team, these are the types of players you have to look into, right? So obviously you have to look into meta, but you need to get players that can potentially get some good playstyles in the future. So first off, jockey playstyle, W. I like the jockey playstyle. Manual defending feels better with that, so that's a good improvement on the card. The second one is going to be a slide tackle, which, okay, you know, not too bad there, not too bad there. Definitely prefer like anticipate or something, but a slide tackle is definitely nice. And then the last one is bruiser, which bruiser, oh, it's not the last one. Bruiser is definitely a massive W as well. And then the last one is going to be a weak foot improvement, which is nice. So this one is something that you have to use again for players that kind of like make the most sense for you. This is a 75k evolution. So let's take a look at some of the options that you could potentially work with. There's obviously a bunch of players that are actually trending right now because they're going to be pretty ideal to go with. I don't think this guy is part of it, is he? No, this is a cut inside from a Manchester City player. These cards start to trend at some point because people look into the young players that could potentially get even better cards in the future, because a guy like that, you're never going to see him in a promo. Like if you do, it'd be very, very shocking, right? Okay, so this one is Fast Forward. This is obviously the guy that shows up on top. He is a French center back that plays for Monaco, League One. He would be a left-footed player, so there's obviously a lot of nice stuff to work with so far. The work rates is a little bit weird with this card at a low medium, for sure, but he is a mostly lengthy player on a shadow chemistry style. The things that he is working with that is on the lower side is going to be in the aggression department for a 73, but it looks interesting on a shadow. Defensive awareness is at an 85 as well, so hard to say what that would be like in game, but playstyles wise, you actually give him new ones entirely, right? So from the bronze card, playstyles wise, he has none because EA doesn't really focus on making these guys super unique. So for an evolution on a card like this, if you are a Monaco fan, you have a pretty meta center back to work with. Guys, I say all this stuff, but listen to what I'm gonna tell you guys, man. In this game, you want your defenders to be as full meta as possible. But if you are going in the sentimental route and you don't mind getting more losses because of how important playstyles are, then this is obviously going to be really sick, because some people are going to go in the route of getting players from specific clubs that they like, or specific players that they just like in general. Like for instance, you have someone like Chambers here, right? So Chambers has 2 different evolutions. So if you did Centurion center back into detail oriented, into budding starlet, into like a rock, and so on and so forth, you obviously have a very nice version of his card. But if you didn't do all that and you're starting off fresh for the card on a Fast Forward, then you have this version of his card, right? So you have like a rock first into Fast Forward. And if you are a Liverpool fan and you want to use like a young talent from Liverpool, that is someone that you can use on a shadow chemistry style, not bad whatsoever. Playstyles wise though, you give him all of these new playstyles. So he has jockey, he has bruiser, slide tackle, no regular anticipates or anything like that. Composure is on the lower side, but reactions in a decent area, right? So not too bad there. Do I feel like this card could potentially be decent in the actual fullback position? It's a little bit debatable because obviously in his case, because he has the controlled lengthy part of the card, it is pushing pace out of the card, which is very nice. So it's definitely something worth looking into, right? Because it could be a similar situation to Kai Havertz, where it's like you give him an anchor, his lengthy really pushes the pace out of the card, so on and so forth, right? So if you want to go down that route, it's not necessarily too terrible to do, right? For a card like Chambers. Some other cards that we have here. Sorry, just checking out a few things real quick, and we're good. Okay, sorry. Mario Gilla, a player that plays for Lazio, does give you a nice little cheeky link to Pedro if he still plays here. Pedro, he does. So if Pedro ever gets a card in the future, that could be something to look into, right? Massive improvements on a card like this as well. Playstyles wise, he is fresh when it comes to new improvements on the card, right? He gets Jockey, Slide Tackle, and Bruiser. Shadow Chemistry Style puts him in an area with a controlled lengthy that gives him 93 acceleration, 88 for sprint speed, and very good defensive stats as well. He's specific to the center back position, right? So again, for players that are building maybe a Spanish team, maybe they want to put some Lazio links with some of the Lazio players that they currently have. Is this team actually called Latium? They don't have the, I guess they don't have the license for them, right? Immobile as an SPC, Pedro as a Champions League card. Philippe Anderson does have a new evolution. If you did that, right, that would have been a really cool link up to do, right? Luis Alberto gameplay objective. So if you're a Lazio fan, you know, you're kind of cooking a little bit, right? You got a few different cards to work with there if you want to do that whole sentimental value thing, right? You're going to hear me say that a lot because with these cards, guys, again, with defenders, it is really nice to get players that are full meta, because in this game, it's kind of crazy when they're not, right? Kwanzaa. Let's see if Kwanzaa actually gets like a new one here. So if we go to evolutions for him and we check out some of these ones, growth spurts. So we'll hide the current hide expired evil paths. Didn't it used to be here at the bottom? Reset evil filters. Hide evolution. No. Hide evil. Bye. Patrick Hu, growth spurt, Patrick Hu. Okay, so by the looks of it, he doesn't have the other one. Keep up for 75k on that one. Okay, so that's just for the growth spurts. So I guess people were just checking to see if he obviously got one as well, which he doesn't look like he does, unless he gets it from like before. Growth spurt, no. This card looks pretty cool, right? If you were going in this route, again, with the Liverpool players, this actually looks like a nice card. Shadow Chemistry Style, mostly lengthy. Playstyles. Interesting playstyles for a center back. I will say. Interesting playstyles for a center back. Needs more actual defensive playstyles, but yeah. Let's see what else we have here. Budding Starlet, so that's the attacker. We have a guy like this. Spanish player that plays for Osasuna. 4-star weak foot's definitely a plus, for sure. Controlled player, so no lengthy on that. It could still be a decent card, maybe. You know, Shadow Chemistry Style, 89 acceleration, 89 sprint speed, boost in defense, physical stats in a decent area. Only has the 3 playstyles as well. So you kind of have to hope for something in the future for this as well. But again, Osasuna fan. Could totally unlock a card like that. Walters. This is a cool card for someone like Nep. So it wouldn't be from this one. It would have to be without the Welcome to Evolutions for the fast forward. Because Welcome to Evolutions is not going to be really available for a lot of people, right? Medium work rates, controlled lengthy player. His dribbling is in a really bad area, to be fair. He does have different position changes like right back, center back as well. Playstyles, he has the 3 new playstyles, but probably needs another evolution in the future to be really, really nice. But these are the types of guys that you should probably grind towards as of right now, because they can turn into monsters in the future, right? It's for players that are not necessarily meta now, but can be in the future, depending on what types of evos they release, right? But that's an Arsenal player there. You know, some people might be into that for the fast forward. Let's see some of the popular choices here for fast forward. We got Walters. We have Chiarodia, Italian player, plays for Borussia Mönchengladbach. This one's pretty cool because he actually has Intercept Plus. Intercept Plus, guys, is actually a very, very nice playstyle to have. I have the Saliba card who has Intercept Plus, and that one is better than the one that didn't get it. because I think the one that was the new one was the Jockey, and I prefer the Intercept on the card because, you know, more actual defensive playstyles. It works in combination with defensive stats and their positioning and the way that you intercept the ball. But this card actually gets it, right? So playstyles wise, he has the 3 new ones, but he has Intercept +2. So this is actually a really cool card, right? Italian links while working with Bundesliga, right? So if you're an Italian fan, right, you can do rare defender upgrade into fast forward if you did it in that order, because I don't think a rare defender upgrade exists anymore. I don't think it does. It does not, right? So if you went in that route, you know, that could definitely be a really cool thing to go for as well. Schutten, this guy, my boy IRL actually talked to me about this guy, and I'm like, I have no idea who this guy is. Sorry guys, just had to upload the video for Ashley Cole. But yeah, Schutten is a card that he was telling me about. The cool thing about the radioactive players is obviously the fact that they give you like really good links to work with, which is obviously very helpful for players that, you know, you might actually like a specific player, but then you can't really use them because, again, the links. But this one helps out with a lot with the links if it works the same way as it did with the Chouameni and stuff, right? But this card, Shadow Chemistry, again, he is a lengthy player. A card that you'd probably actually use in the CDM position. Playstyles wise, it's only the 3 new playstyles, right? So Jockey, Slide Tackle, and Bruiser on the card. That's all you would have to work with, but for a pretty usable card, right? Lengthy player, might actually be able to use them in the center back position with the defensive boost that he's given, as well as the physical boost as well, right? So a couple cool things there for sure. A couple cool things there. Mackenzie, Scottish player. This is for the Scottish fans. Playstyles all the 3. Shadow Chemistry style. He is a controlled lengthy player, so not too bad there for sure. What else we have here? Chambers as well. Again, Oku, Blank. Oh, so this is cool, right? So this card has Incisive Pass as a playstyle plus because of Pep's Legacy. So if you did Pep's Legacy into fast forward, and you're a Borussia Dortmund fan, not too bad, right? Because he actually gets some pretty decent playstyles in the card that could potentially play really well in the center back position. I think cards like this would benefit most from playing in like the actual left center back position in like a 3-back formation, right? Or if people will line up in like a 5-back if you're ratty enough, right? Because with a formation like this, you have a left-footed player playing in that area. He has passing capabilities. So having passing capabilities in those specific spots when you're building up the play, like a 3-5-2, for instance, it is really nice to have, right? A first-time pass with an incisive pass is kind of crazy to work with. Like, it's actually very, very nice. So Shadow Chemistry style to boost the pace as well as defense could make this card incredibly usable, right? A lot of people are not going to be interested in a lot of these cards right off the bat because, to be fair, they're not like super meta cards, right? But it is cards for the future in case they do get further evolutions. That's the case here, right? Felix, Spanish player, 90 defense, 89 physical, 78 pace, is a little bit on the lower side as of right now. Phillips plays for who? Who is this? I can't see that. It's like so thing. Oh, it's Spurs. Oh, this is a cool card for Guiu. Hey, Guiu, a nice card for you. Look at this. Spurs player. Oh, he'll be pretty excited about that. Because Guiu is one of the guys that I'm talking about, like the sentimental value guys, right? Like, he actually likes to use a Spurs team. So this is cool for him, right? Controlled lengthy player. Shadow Chemistry style. Usable card. You know, he's got lengthy. It's a really, really nice card for that variable, right? So pretty nice there. Adopo, this guy is trending for like different reasons. He has a different card too, like the growth spurt one. There's this one that exists that people were looking into as well because he looks pretty decent, right? Controlled lengthy player on a Shadow Chemistry style as well, so can't really go wrong with that. Definitely looks like a nice card, but he does have the evolution where it's just a 1 upgrade, right? So if you are someone that wants to build a team with some, I believe that's Atalanta players, then you kind of go down this route as well. Only the 3 play styles on this one. I think Growth Spurt might have a few more. Yeah, Growth Spurt has a lot more. Let's see what else we have here. Manchester United player. I wouldn't look into the female players as center backs because of them being really small and stuff. I would actually look into using these cards more in the actual midfield positions, right? So because she has Intercept Plus, a card like this in the midfield area would be decent to work with under a shadow chemistry style, right? Especially since she has the 5-star weak foot, pretty nimble to work with. She can actually provide you some defensive stuff. So this is a card you keep CDM area, stay back while attacking for the most part. She just does those defensive plays for you, mostly. But yeah, there's a lot of options here. A lot of the younger guys, right? Balog, Dekure, Konate, Walters. I'm trying to see if there's players that like kind of really pop up for me, other than all the younger players, right? That people may or may not want, right? Fulham player over here that does play in the center back position. Alzinho, Luis Silva. So here, there's a Portuguese player, right? So for instance, for myself, I can get a card like this, who's mostly lengthy, shadow chemistry style, play styles, only has the 3. So it's a card that I'd probably want to have to get in the future. But I think with these types of players, like for me personally, it would kind of have to be like this, right? So again, this is at the point where I kind of show you guys what you want to look for, right? So you go into fast forward and you check out like all these cards here. But once you go to fast forward, you could search up, you know, countries like Portugal, and you have some options to work with, right? So for me personally, if I were to go in this route, it would mostly be for the Liga NOS players that I'm like a little bit more familiar with, right? But here's the thing. These cards here, you kind of have to hope for a future improvement, right? You can see that there's no Eduardo Quaresma or anything like that that gets that significant boost. But these are cards that, you know, could be pretty nice in the future depending on the specific improvements that they get. But, you know, you look into that. You look into, you know, Liga Portugal, for instance, right? Again, if I were to go down this route, Liga Portugal, and then, oh, it's just those guys. So not even just the Portuguese thing, eh? Wow, it's just those guys. Really? What about? That's interesting. So what if I were to go to like FC Porto like this, and it might be messed up. That's why I always check just to make sure. FC Porto. I don't think so, but we'll see. Yeah, so it's none of them. Sometimes the filters you have to like refresh it. Yeah. Okay, so meta ratings here. Kurda. This is a Bundesliga player. So Kurda gets the 3, really fast player. Shadow chemistry style puts him at a 91-93 for a controlled player. You could make him a lengthy if you give him an anchor. But that depends. You have to see that in game for sure. Rossith, Lizens, Vandenberg. Vandenberg is this Middlesbrough? It's Middlesbrough, okay. So championship player Middlesbrough gets the 3 play styles as well. Suver, Adopo, Schutten, these are players that we've already seen before as well. This guy's trending high, but I would assume that he would have like a little bit more play styles to work with, but he doesn't. Gambor, Gibson. Again, guys, these cards don't necessarily need to be like crazy. Oh, South Korean player Gyu, you might have to look into this one too, brother. Because he goes with Spurs or either the South Korean guys. Because this is from fast forward only. Oh, Gyu must be like having so much fun this year, bro, with all these types of players that he can get. He loves to actually use like different types of players. That's why it kind of works for him a lot. I mean, it's cool, right? Like, I mean, look, he's South Korean and stuff. There's a lot to work with. Portuguese, I would do that, but then I would have to wait for another Evo to come out for me to like really have a meta card, you know? So for French, is that League 1? What team is this? What is that? Oh, League 2. I was about to say, I've never seen this team before. POW FC. Orton, Howley, Chambers, Hollander. Is there anything where you can like mix and match? FC Founders upgrade? Probably not, right? Let's see. I highly doubt it, honestly. I feel like you probably wouldn't be able to. With 2? No chance, bro. No chance. Or like if you were to give like the defensive one. So it'd be like, let's see. So there was a like Pep's Legacy, right? Pep's Legacy. Yeah, so you'd have to look into stuff like that. So when it's like actual defensive stuff that can give you more play styles, you do have to look into that. Some cards might pop up that actually might be decent for you, right? Pep's Legacy gives you more play styles to work with. This is an Argentinian player who has a 5-star weak foot. Look at that. 5-star weak foot on him. English player from Liverpool. Again, into Pep's, fast forward first into Pep's Legacy afterwards, gives them play styles. Oh, got another one here. Blank. Oh, see Borussia Dortmund. Look at that. See Pep's Legacy into fast forward. Well, that's the one from before, right? That one that we saw. Swedish again. The Swedish guys have actually been getting a few players, eh? Yeah, the Swedish guys, they've been getting a few cards. Again, this guy looks like a 3-back formation type of player, right? But again, if you're going down the sentimental route, there's a few different options to work with. So this evolution, people are not going to be super crazy about, especially since it is a paid evolution. But again, guys, you guys know how EA works. They can drop an evolution in the future that makes some of these more sentimental cards way more meta to work with. It just depends on the play styles and stuff that they end up giving them, right? That's the key thing here. But yeah, we'll just call it there. A lot of decent stuff to work with. Always check out some of the younger players. Try to mix and match some of the evolutions that currently exist. Like maybe there's like one for Crossing Crusader, potentially. I would assume not, but I mean, there you go, right? Fast forwarded to Crossing Crusader. And look at this. 80 pace, defender, usability is there. These are cards that, as of right now, would not cost a lot on the market. Trust me, like, as of right now, the way that they currently look. But could be really nice if you're going down this route, right? So, Chinese player, Yang, Crossing Crusader, fast forward, right? So, definitely look into a lot of these options. There's going to be a few different ones, for sure. But we'll leave it there for now, guys. A couple of decent options to work with, for sure. But yeah, I'll catch you guys for the next video. Peace out, dudes. Love you guys.